Hello and all, welcome to the Galaxy Man Show. I am here with this incredible artist for a brand new week for 2023 with an incredible artist known as Stract. So I'm about to add Stract into the live now and have a chat with Stract about his incredible music. So let's add Stract in, and yeah, he is Stract. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much for taking the time to join my show. It is such an incredible pleasure having you on the show for today. To people that don't know who you are, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Sure. First of all, pleasure to be on the show. So thank you. I'm an artist and creative that goes by the name of Stract. Uh, Born and raised in Los Angeles, California, and my purpose is to um, inspire others around me creatively through expression of my emotions in my life, and to uplift others and give my authentic self through my words and lyrics. I'm a musician, uh, primarily lo-fi hip hop artist, but I'm inspired by all types of genres, and that's me
We'll dive right into the questions now, Strack.
for sure.
For my very first question, you've created incredible original songs, and for the first original song I'm going to mention is a song called "Losing Interest." Like, what was it like creating this song, and what's the meaning behind losing interest?
So first, you say original song, but I got to give credit where it's due. Um, this song samples a phenomenal artist named Shiloh Dynasty, who I've collaborated with on this track, and Shiloh Dynasty is basically birthed an entire genre and inspired several artists, including myself. So this song samples a kind of like a 10-second clip, which is where a losing interest originated from. Basically, what I did was I turned it into a full song by adding drums and a bass line produced by myself, mixing and engineering the track, and writing my own lyrics and telling my story, and turning it into something bigger than what it was, and meaningful to me and so many others. So Charlotte Dynasty is a big part of that song. In terms of creating the song, I look back, this song was made in 2019. So it was pretty early on in my career. And now this is the song that is um, such a big part of who I am as an artist and what I'm recognized by. And um, I, I reproduced the song several times. So it's a very fulfilling and rewarding feeling to see hard work pay off. I was in a dark place when I made that song. Reproducing it over and over, I look back and reminisce on the sleepless nights of just changing the drum sounds again and again till I got it right. Um, when I create, I'm super obsessive about making it as close to perfect as I possibly can until I'm satisfied with it. So a lot of work went into that, me being the producer, engineer, and the artist, the writer as well. Um, in terms of the meaning of the song, I feel that the song is interpreted by many people as like a heartbreak song. And I feel like the song it's general yet specific enough for it to be relatable and interpreted in many different ways. But what I wrote it from was from a place of feeling alienated and isolated, um, more so than being heartbroken by a romantic relationship. The song for me, when I wrote it, was more about um, friendships and fake friends, feeling ultimately feeling alone and coping with that, being tired of putting up a mask that you present to others and just trying to find your true self. And I feel that I did achieve that with the song. I just put out how I was genuinely feeling about my life and about that time. Um, so the intention when I wrote it was to express my feelings about um, being alone, and friendship seeming inauthentic, not really connecting with people, people not truly understanding you. Um, like the line that I say when I say, they want to see me living like better, but they never want to ever see me living like better than them. That was more of a reference to a lot of the friends and people that I met in the music industry that are highly competitive. They congratulate you and they want to see you doing good, but they don't want you to go too far. They don't want you to surpass them. And I got a lot of that, especially starting out as a producer, working with people. And I just felt that the best way to communicate how I was feeling, rather than engage in conflict or competition, was to transmute something negative into something positive, to create a phenomenal song through what I was feeling, which is how it goes for a lot of my songs. But like I said, I do feel that the lyrics are broad enough, yet specific enough to be left up to the listener's interpretation, for sure.
So on to my very next question. You've actually also created an original called Tell Me Why I'm Waiting. What was it like creating this one, and what's the meaning behind this?
Okay, so Tell Me Why I'm Waiting was the first time I worked with Shiloh and sampled her. So the way Losing Interest came about was I was inspired by what Tell Me Why I'm Waiting was doing, because this was released in 2018 and it was kind of my first song that began to pick up a buzz, and it was getting some streams. And I remember when I began working on Losing Interest, it was probably about 100,000 streams, which was, you know, a super big deal to me, being 19 years old and just starting out with music. And I feel like I found my sound and I found what works for me. So I wanted to create another one and produce it all by myself and just do it again, kind of perfect it. But Tell Me Why I'm Waiting was really discovering my sound and finding out who I am as an artist. The whole album, Distractions, is kind of that for me. I would feel that was a turning point in where I found what I want to sound like, what type of music I want to make. Tell Me Why I'm Waiting is a heartbreak song. It's a heartbreak song and a love song at the same time. So when my songs get dark, I feel that there's always a sort of light at the end of the tunnel. I'll either give advice in the song, or I'll turn something negative into something positive. So it's never left on a bad note. It's kind of an and that is truly how I feel. So the way that song came about is, it's funny. I would get into a lot of conflicts and arguments with my girlfriend at the time. And something in me would be a little bit happy when we would argue, because I knew I was going to make a great song. And several of my songs were made like that. Like Die For You, Tell Me Why I'm Waiting. A lot of these songs were from a place of kind of resolving my inner conflict. I just felt it was the best way for me to go about it. And it stimulated me creatively, and I turned something negative into something positive, like I said. So for me, yeah, that's what it was all about. It just became an outlet for me. And it was the greatest way I could express how I'm feeling, and to put out the music and have people relate to it is very meaningful to me, knowing that I can be that voice for people. I do pull a lot of inspiration from my life and experiences, and I could kind of sort of just tap into that depending on what type of song I'm making. If I'm making a heartbreak song, I kind of tap into that place. And Tell Me Why I'm Waiting was one of the singles off my first album, Distractions. And with this album, I wanted to get into singing. So that's how the chorus came about. And that chorus became sort of my formula for several of my songs now. So Tell Me Why I'm Waiting was really about finding my sound, finding my message, finding who I am as an artist. And that was the first, I would say, the first song that really did that for me. That was one of my early songs. So it's still one that I look back on and enjoy a lot. And I'm, blessed and grateful that people people are receiving it the way that I intended for it to be received.
I love that. So on to my very next question. So you have also created an original called Some About You. What was it like getting to create this one, and what's the meaning behind Some About You?
Some About You was such a fun song to make. So I would say my music is taking a turn, definitely, and evolving. Like I said, I could always go back to and revisit that place depending on what type of song I'm making. This song is more of a love song, a happy song, which is something very different from what I usually make. Um, Kind of opened my mind to what I can do. Um, it was one of those songs that wasn't really planned, which are the best ones, the spontaneous ones. So my friend, one of my best friends, Patrick or P Breezy, shout out to P Breezy. Um, he came to me and he wanted to make a fun project for his girlfriend. He wanted to make a rap for her, and he wanted my help. Um, so we were working on the song. He found this beat and he sent it to me. And at first he wanted me to get on it, but I was like, this is not really, what I make. This is not really my genre. This is different from what I usually do. Um, so I just decided to help him out with, you know, creating a song. So we were doing that, and in the process of making it, it was just turning out really good, and it honestly surpassed my expectations of what it would be, and it was just becoming a song that I felt had a lot of potential. So I decided to surprise my friend and hop on the song like we originally planned. So I wrote a verse, I laid the chorus with that formula that I was talking about. Would tell me why I'm waiting. My layering formula, um, just knowing my sound and trying to implement that into something new and create something different. I felt like it was a good challenge for me because it was different. So I decided to get on it, and then I played it for him, and it just became something that we both really enjoyed. And I got his blessing to put it out as a song, to eventually add it to my album, and that's what the song is now. It was just such a fun song to make because we removed that, or I removed that pressure of trying to make um, a perfect song. It became more about having fun and making something for fun. And I feel like when you tap into that, that's when you make your best work. And I do feel that Some About You is probably one of my favorite songs that I've made, with the least amount of pressure to make it. So that song is a super special one to me, to him, and his girlfriend loved it. So overall, yeah, that song was a really fun song to make. The meaning behind that song is kind of about um, being in love and trying to. It really depends on what verse, but if we're talking about the overall meaning of the song, it's kind of trying to identify your own feelings, trying to understand your feelings. You feel some type of way. There's something about this person um, that makes you feel drawn to them, and despite uh, whether it's trying to walk away or trying to disconnect from it, something keeps bringing you back. For me, that was the inspiration of the chorus and my verse, and also definitely just trying to make a song that's fun, something that puts you in a good mood, gives you energy, um, a good challenge, something totally different from my other songs.
I love that. So on to my very next question. So what made you decide as an artist and especially as a person, like to get into singing in the first place?
Man, I just I feel like my childhood was the perfect grounds to create who I am today, to create a musician. I've always been a creative. As a kid, I would make like funny YouTube videos. That's how I learned how to edit. Um, I would Photoshop drawings of characters and cartoons. That's and That's how I learned how to Photoshop and do create images and artwork. I would create, I would create toys to play with, like toys and weapons and wallets or just whatever. And that was my childhood. It was always just creating. I just loved making things. That was who I was as a kid. And I was put into piano classes at 7 years old. And that was kind of the basis of me um, opening the door to the world of music and understanding music theory, which I feel like is essential to me being a producer and creating my own music. And even martial arts, I was put into Taekwondo at 6 years old. And that is another highly influential thing to me as a person today. All of these things as a kid kind of shaped who I am now and shaped my hobbies and passions and what I love doing. I was really able to discover that very early on in my life. Also, just beatboxing. One of my cousins was really good at beatboxing, and he taught me how to do it, and I would practice it. And I was probably like 8 years old, and this also became a vital part in my understanding of music and creating beats. When I'm producing a beat, I'll beatbox it. I'll beatbox what's in my head, and then I'll produce it. So just the understanding that I was given at such a young age, I feel was super influential to my music creation now. And it wasn't until about 10th grade in high school that I was introduced to hip hop. So I didn't even listen to hip hop until much later on in my life. So it all kind of hit me at once. I discovered Eminem, I discovered Tupac, and my friends in high school put me onto all this music that I was never aware of growing up. So I had the foundation of understanding music, but being introduced to hip hop later in life just opened up an entirely new door. And I took a music production class, and from there I started producing beats. Then I started trying my hand at rapping, and it became something that I now feel is my purpose in life. So you can really find it at any time, but once you know what it is, and once you know what you need to do, there's nothing that can stop you. So just really finding out what you're good at and what you want to do and what you can contribute to the world. I feel like that gives you that purpose that everybody kind of craves for a fulfilled, meaningful life.
So on to that next question. So what does performing music like mean to you? Like especially as an artist, like when you're performing like with crowds, like what does performing music like mean to you?
Music, honestly, to me is magic. Music is magical. It's an unseen force that connects people, that brings people together, that makes people feel emotions. It really is magic to me. Um, I feel like music is the highest form of inspiration. What you can communicate through lyrics, the feelings that you can invoke through lyrics, and even beats. Um, the energy that you could give people when you are performing. I just feel like it's one of the, if not the greatest way of connecting people and bringing people together. People relate and people bond um, from their favorite music, from their favorite artists. It truly connects people, even in a way that you might not even entirely be aware of. My music is impacting people that I don't even know, and it's traveling and reaching so many people around the world, and that's a blessing that my words are being heard and received. And um, what I'm doing is purposeful and meaningful to a lot of people. It's very inspiring to me, and knowing that inspires others is truly one of the greatest feelings about performing and about being a musician.
So on to my very next question. So what's your like all-time favorite cover song to perform and why?
So in terms of cover songs, I have a few songs that are interpolations of other songs. For example, I have Never Can Say Goodbye. That's an interpolation of the Jackson 5. I have No One, which is an interpolation of Alicia Keys. And I feel that the challenge of recreating a song and bringing something new to it, um, keeping it familiar and keeping the energy of the original song, but also creating something entirely new. It's a fun experience. It's a fun project. I do a lot of these with Russell Groovy. Shout out to Russell Groovy. He's really good at interpolating songs, and it's just fun to do. Because, like I said, it's kind of like sampling, but we're reinventing something, and that challenge is fun to me. Challenges in music, I feel, is like what what keeps me going, what inspires me. Working with another artist and kind of blending into their style and what they're going for is what keeps it engaging and fun. That's what I love about collaborating. But my favorite one of these interpolations that I'm talking about is probably No One, because we infuse a little bit of hip hop in there. I produce a beat, I rapped over it, yet we kept that familiar chorus that so many people know and love. And I feel like that makes the song recognizable, but also still engaging because there is something new to it. So No One would probably be my favorite one of those.
So on to my next question. So on to collaborating with other artists. So like if you could work with any top three music artists in the music industry, who would you want to work with and why?
Man, it's top three artists to work with. I would definitely say, I would say Giveon, Daniel Caesar, and J. Cole. As a rapper, I I love working with singers because they bring something out of me. They challenge me, like I said, and you know, to either sample a singer and kind of get myself to blend in with that, or challenge me, the producer in me, or challenge the rapper in me to fit the theme and fit the genre, like I do with a lot of my songs. I feel like pushes me in a way. And these are also just my favorite artists to listen to. My favorite rapper being J. Cole. Um, yeah, those three would probably be the top artists that I would want to work with. Very influential to me and my sound and just what I like in terms of my taste in music.
So on to my very next question. So if you could go anywhere in the world, any place, any country, take your music to, like where would you want to take your music to and why?
I would love to go to the Philippines just because the Philippines is super influential to my culture and my heritage. And I've never been there. So just to visit the Philippines alone would be great, but to perform there would be incredible. So definitely the Philippines.
So on to my very next question. So what advice would you give to upcoming artists that want to get into singing? And yeah, what advice would you give them?
The advice I would give them is to not strive for perfection, but to strive for the most authentic version of you. I would say be you to the best that you can be. Don't hold yourself to the standard of perfection, because ultimately you'll always be led to disappointment because you're not perfect, you're you. So if you are truly you and you're giving your authentic self and you're giving your best, you won't be let down because you are giving your true authentic um, version. Don't be somebody that you're not. Don't try to be someone that you're not. And if people support you and love what you're doing and you're being true to you, it's much more rewarding than trying to be someone you're not and being respected for someone you're not. You want to be respected for you. So stay true to yourself and understand that um, it's a journey, it's a process. So you should be able to look back and say that I'm better now. So don't let the past discourage you. Don't let your old work discourage you. Let it motivate you. Um, you should be moving at an upward trend and you should be getting better. That's exactly what you want. And if you were perfect, there would be no room to grow. If you were already perfect from the jump, then there would be no need to do what you're doing. So keep creating, keep experimenting, keep doing what you're doing, and focus on growth. Focus on the journey rather than the destination, because where you're at now is going to be a time that you look back on and appreciate. There's a lot of music that I made when I first started out that I didn't like at the time that I really enjoy now, because it just takes you to that place of passion and motivation, and just reminds you of who you were at that time. And looking at who I am now, it's a rewarding feeling because I was staying true to myself. I was giving my authentic self. And by looking back and looking at me now, you can really see the growth. So don't strive for perfection, strive for growth. That would be the advice that I would give to any new artist.
That was actually my next question too. For your younger self, like if now, like looking back over your career in the industry, like what would you say to your younger self if you could, talk to your younger self?
If I could talk to my younger self, I would say trust the process, and keep going and focus on what really matters. Because back then, and even sometimes now, it's very easy to focus on things that don't matter, that are apart from the goal, like self-criticism and like I said, trying to be perfect. Focus on the goal, what you're trying to do, and if your strategy and what you're trying to do is achieving the goal, then it's good. And apply whatever criticisms you have to your next project. Don't get hung up and get stuck in the past. There was a time where I was remastering my entire catalog because I was growing and I was getting better at mixing and engineering. So I wanted to revisit all my old projects and try to make them better and make them perfect. As an artist, I've always been this way. I obsessively try to make things my best. But you have to be content with the growth. Like I said, you should be able to look back and know that you're better now. Don't try to make everything perfect, because it can block you from creating new things if you get hung up on the old things. So keep moving forward, keep growing, take what you learned and apply it to the next one, and keep going. Stay consistent in your growth, because it's very easy to get stuck on the path if you're stuck in the past. And that goes for music and just life in general. Be mindful of where you're at, know where you want to go. And if something is not in alignment with where you want to go, then you have to reevaluate if it's a priority, So keep growing, keep creating, and get out of your own way. Don't let your mind hold you back. Your mind is your greatest asset, but if you let it, it can be your greatest enemy. So understand what you want, understand where you're going. And if you have a plan, then nothing can really stop you but yourself. So don't hold yourself back. Be on your own team. Don't get in your way.
So onto my very next question. So onto that. So like, what are the positive and negative side into the music industry, and how do you get through those negative moments as an artist?
There are so many positive and negatives. Like with everything, it's a duality of life. So if you expect something positive, expect it to come with something negative. But there's always something positive that you can find in the negative. You can pull from that. You can learn from it. And you get to choose whether or not you accept that criticism or that opinion. So in terms of negative, putting yourself out there as an artist, you're bound to be judged, because your whole career revolves around people liking you and people liking your music and their opinion on you. Your whole career is based off of opinion. So you have to expect mixed reviews and mixed opinions. So it all comes with it. So when you do kind of get hate, or somebody that has a critical opinion or doesn't support you, take what you can from it. If it doesn't benefit you, you don't have to make that opinion your own. You don't have to believe that just because somebody else believes it. You had your opinion when you made this song. If it's special to you, you gave it your true self and you love it, that's what matters. If somebody else doesn't love it, it does not mean that you shouldn't love it anymore. You already have your own opinion, so don't let other people's thoughts influence yours. that goes back to staying true to yourself and keeping a level head and knowing who you are and knowing what you want. If you have that confidence and security, nobody's opinion can really get through. You kind of just pull what you can from it. Like I said, apply it to the next one if you choose to, but you are the one who decides. They don't decide how you feel about your own work. So if you love your work, you're doing the right thing. In terms of the positive, there will be people that do support you and do love your work, and you can inspire people and change your lives on any scale. That is probably one of the most rewarding things about music, is motivating other people to make music, motivating other people to work harder, to be more consistent, to be more expressive, to be their true self. Inspiring and uplifting others, for me, is the best thing and most rewarding thing about doing this. That would be one of the positives, especially when it's growing in scale and you're, reaching people that you never thought you would reach, and that you don't even know. You're changing lives truly, and you're serving your purpose, and you're meaningful more than you know. And kind of understanding that and knowing yourself and getting to know yourself through music or art or whatever it is that you do is super positive thing about doing this. You really figure out who you are and where you're going, which is essential in life, just in general. But it is a duality of positive and negative, but you get to choose what you let in. So remember that you are in control of your own thoughts and feelings. You have your opinion. Stick to your opinion and take what you can from both the positive and the negative, and just keep going. Just stay true to yourself is what I would say.
So on to my very last question for you. So what's next for you, for the rest of 2023 onwards? Any upcoming projects that you'd like to announce on the show?
Yeah, I feel that a lot of my listeners will appreciate that I am making a new song with Shiloh Dynasty. I feel that that's what a lot of people enjoy from me. So I will be coming with another one of those, and inspiration just hits at the right time. I've always wanted to do another one just because I've seen how well they perform, but I wanted to do it with pure intentions. I wanted to do it when the inspiration hit me, and it really did. Lately, I've been pulling from a place that I feel connects to the music, and making something real and authentic to me is always the goal. So now I do feel that it is the time. So there's a song with Shiloh Dynasty that's coming, and I have another song with great artist named Carter Ace that we are working on. So I have two new songs that I'm currently working on, which are going to be part of an album called Downfall. And Downfall is the album that I've been working on ever since I finished Distractions back in 2019. It's been a long time coming. It's releasing this year, and it's going to be a high volume album. So I have a lot of songs and a lot of new work to present. I know people have been waiting, and I've been dropping singles here and there. Losing Interest, Some About You, I Am Why, Just a Memory, So Close. All these songs are going to be a part of Downfall. So I've had this project in mind for years. It's been a long time coming, and I'm excited to put it out this year. Again, it's called Downfall, and it will be releasing in 2023. So that's what I would like to announce.
Amazing. Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Stract, for appearing on my show. It has been such an incredible pleasure having you on as an incredible guest for today. Do you have any last final thoughts or anything that you'd like to share to people on the show?
Yeah, man. For you, Jacob, I would just like to say I respect your consistency and your work ethic, and that's something that's very admirable and something that a lot of people respect and look up to, including myself. Consistency and dedication to what you love is that ambition is probably one of the most respectable traits that I find in people, and that I try to emulate in myself. So I appreciate what you're doing, and for anybody else who knows what they want to do or maybe is still looking for it, just keep chipping at it, keep doing it. Don't be afraid to take a risk. Don't be afraid to get messy with it in a way. You have to experiment with it, and you have to try things, and you have to mess up in order to figure it out. The most important thing is that you have to start, because a lot of people are when they want to pursue something, they're like, I don't know where to begin. I don't know what to do. But how will you ever know what to do if you don't try it? So you kind of just have to take that leap of faith and just dive in, and you never know where it will take you. So I never thought I'd be making music, but I look back now and I just feel that everything has just been the perfect grounds to create the man that I am today. And I'm very grateful for this journey, and I look forward to what else is coming. So just keep that ambition, keep that passion, keep chipping at it. And once you find it and once you know what to do, there's nothing that can stop you. So just keep going.
Just let me know so I won't look down. You losing interest, you won't find no better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down. When you move on, losing interest, you won't find no better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down. When you move on.
Something doesn't feel right. Circumstances got me broken from to feel like my whole life is a lie, and I'm looking for a way to get better. But lately my entire world's become gray and the weather been cold as ever. That's my real life. I realize in my real life, even realize, can't fathom that they wanna see me living like better, but then they never wanna ever see me living like better than them. And I'm a friend to them. What is a friend to them? If all my friends be enemies and I'm dead to them, when will it end? My day spent on defending my feelings, showing no emotion, pretending that I'm feeling fine, but I'm reminded my time is what I'm seeking. I'm like a light beaming at night when I fight demons. It's out of sight, seeming like I cannot quite reach it till I find a peace of mind, and I'm giving my life meaning.
Losing interest, you won't find no better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down. When you move on, losing interest, you won't find no better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down. When you move on, losing interest, you won't find no better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down.